Hey, welcome back to Star Technology, where in the last video, we got this mkIII fusion reactor set up to start making neutronium. I'm not sure where the stuff is, but it seems like it's still making some, so that's good. Or not, I guess it ran out. It seems to be bottlenecked a bit by lutetium and americium. Makes sense, because these are all quite slow. Oh, and I'm making them both on the one reactor, no wonder it's bottlenecked. Well, hopefully I can remedy that in this video, because I've got quite a few plans for this video. Because we have neutronium now, I should be able to go through and upgrade all of the machines to be UHV power. I haven't done it quite yet, because I don't have enough solar panels for that. Well, I do now, but I didn't feel like just upgrading on my own and then solving the problem myself. Because you can probably tell, this solar array looks terrible. It was fine at first when it started flowing over the side, but this is just obnoxious. So I definitely need an alternative to this. And having it flow over the side was always just a temporary solution. So I think the first thing to do now is set up all of these solar panels so I can actually have enough power to run everything. I think I can still leave some solar panels on the roof here. Yeah, I'll just trim it down so it's actually the size of the roof. There we go. That's all of this trimmed down to size. That's a much more reasonable amount of solar panels on the roof. But it does mean that I have a lot in my inventory. And I have a hard time believing that this won't be enough. And by my estimates, it should be fine. This combined with what's left on the roof should be 2,000 solar panels. And I think I finally figured out what I want to do with them. So, one thing that I thought about right at the very start of the entire series, like episode 3 or something, the reason I raised up the house platform was so I could have a vantage point to view all the technology going out in front of me. This vantage point wasn't quite enough, but I started standing up here, and this is a very nice vantage point for everything. But, annoyingly, there's a bit of empty space there and a bit of empty space there. So, that's where I'm going to put my solar panels. I'm not sure whether to go with a giant square or to go with like a semicircle. Because on this sort of a scale, I don't actually have many solar panels. I think I'll see how the big square looks. But I have a certain design in mind. I will just need a lot of building blocks. And actually, there's no reason I have to use cobblestone, because this is pretty separate. Oxidized copper could be good. Just depends, is there an easy way to oxidize copper in this version? No, there's no mod to do that. Okay, I'd rather not bother with that then. But I still kind of want that sort of a color. Ooh, entwine. That looks cool. And it's just iron and ender pearls. That's not bad. It's expensive, but I've got millions of iron and probably also millions of ender pearls. So I can get a bunch of entwine pretty easily. Oh, wait. It wasn't 4 of those pieces to make 1 block. I have a lot more than I thought I would. I don't need that much, but I probably still need about an inventory's worth of slabs. Maybe a little more. So there seems to be a decent sort of square shape here. I can do similar on the other side. It's not going to be framed quite as well, because I don't have the giant platform on this side. But dimensions should be about the same for everything else. So let's see, how big of a platform can I make out of this? Wow, that was kind of the size that I had in mind, and that's barely half of these slabs. And I've got about an inventory's worth of solar panels. Hang on, I can bring this a little closer. So that should let me expand the platform out a little bit. Yeah, I think that's about right for how much I want to spend. And if I just see how that looks on the other side as well, I quite like those proportions. How does it look from the main vantage point? Very nice. It does fill out that empty space quite well. Okay, so then how am I going to place these solar panels? Let me just try doing just a bunch of squares like this, because that has used a decent amount of these solar panels. I'm not sure what the limit is on how big they can connect. Oh. That's all of them. Huh. I really hope I'll have enough if I can salvage the rest of the roof. It's mostly wishful thinking, but let's see. Ooh, nearly. I'm 49 short. I think I just make more solar panels in that case, because another 48 isn't that bad. And having 2048 is a nice, solid number. So sure, I can do that. Although before I get too ahead of myself, I'm going to need to connect these to power, so that I'm actually generating something. I think I might put the flux plugs on the bottom, actually. Not sure how much of a difference it would make. Yeah, now it does look a bit cleaner, not having the random flux plugs. Just to check again. Yeah, now that there's actually solar panels there, it is noticeably different, and I quite like that. Not sure how I feel about the color, but it was always going to be sort of that color because of the solar panels. I don't know. It's not too hard to replace the slabs beneath it if I need to. I think the last thing I'm going to do then is place a bunch of glowstone underneath so that some light can radiate to the top and keep this mostly mob-proof. Yeah, that seems to light it up pretty well. And that also means that power is more or less solved. So, I can move on with the next thing. Upgrading all of the fusion reactors. I should have everything I need here. I don't have the energy converters. There, I can make extras. I'm gonna have to wait a while to get most of this. And once I start upgrading things to be UHV, I can probably salvage a bunch of what I'm already using, but I'm still probably gonna need more. I don't think there's gonna be any easy way to disable this. I guess I'll just have to deal with a bit of a loss. Oh, and there's no easy way to just vein mine all of this. Okay, I guess I'm doing this the long way. Right, that's all of the Mark II casing stripped away. So I should be able to just, yeah, do that and completely replace them all. It's not going to form the multi-block yet because it doesn't work with ZPM hatches. But we've already deduced last time that those don't get placed with the terminal very well. Right, there's the first reactor back. And it's actually running! With ZPM power going into the hatches. That's very unexpected. I guess I do have a lot of ZPM power going in. Well, okay then. I guess I don't need to replace these just yet. Probably will, because I have some other upgrades in mind, but I'll get onto them later. For now, I'll just finish upgrading these reactors, and I guess I can start making the fourth one. Right, I've got most of what I need now for the fourth fusion reactor. I'm just missing the fusion coils, because I forgot about them. Once I've got them, I can put the last energy hatches in place, and I should be reasonably close to getting the energy converters. And then once that's all done, I can go through and actually put cards in all of this. I haven't been bothered to do that yet. Well, I guess there's other things I can do while I wait. Because now that the power's up and running, yeah, I guess I can upgrade all of this. I've been getting a lot of stellarium in the background, and I was told in the comments of the last video that what I was doing for stellarium was horrendously inefficient. Because I was making it through the dust, which takes 12 buckets, whereas if I did it through the blast smelter, it takes 12 ingots. That's a difference of about 6 times. So, to do this through the blast smelter, it takes about as long, and it's 6 times more efficient for neutronium. So, yeah. I'm doing it this way from now on. I guess that means the first thing I should upgrade should probably be the blast smelter then. So then, let's see. I'm just going to take the neutronium out for now, so that it stops crafting, and I can swap this over and put the neutronium back. Now it's much quicker. Still takes a long time. 1200 seconds is, I think, 15 minutes, but better than 30 minutes. So that should get me my stellarium quite a lot quicker. I guess I can upgrade the blast furnace next, but for that I'm going to have to wait a little longer for it to make another UHV circuit, because I need a different energy converter. What else can I upgrade? For similar reasons, I'm not going to be able to upgrade in here for a while. I'm also just going to need a lot more cables. I don't think I really need to upgrade the chemical reactors anymore. Let me see. Do they have any recipes on UEV? There's plenty on LUV and a couple on ZPM, but nothing on even UV. So overclocking these to UHV is probably good enough. And besides, they've got other bottlenecks to worry about. So I think I can leave these be. I think similar logic applies to the chemical bath. Nothing here really needs to go that much quicker, and it's already running at max parallel most times. I will upgrade the circuit assembler though, but for that I'm going to need a 4A hatch. But that's not hard. And you know what? I have an idea. I think I can say that most things in here also don't need to be upgraded again. Sure, a speed increase would be nice, but I don't think the cutter needs to be any quicker. I don't think the chemical reactor needs to be any quicker. Same logic as the ones outside. Maybe the autoclave could be a bit quicker, but that only really applies to getting crystal chips, and even that's quick enough. So I think all I kind of want to upgrade is the circuit assembler. I've got an idea for how to upgrade this without stepping on the toes of everything else. I can move this wire around a bit, then I can do exactly what I did with the assembler and just give it its own energy converter. Yeah, that seems to work. I just wonder, how high can I set this parallel now? I think 64 is too much, or not. Some things can still run at 64 parallel, I guess. I'll experiment with that on my own and see what the upper bound is. But with such a huge overclock now, I should be able to run a ton more in parallel. We'll see. But I think, just looking at everything that I have, I might be fine to leave it at the current overclock. Oh, actually, maybe I should upgrade the chemical plants. These could do with going a bit quicker. That's a similar thing to the blast furnace. I'm gonna have to wait until I get some more stuff. Well, while I've been doing all of that, I now have all of the UV energy converters, and I've got the fusion coils, so I can go through and upgrade all of these to be on the correct power, and I can also finally come through and finish this 4th fusion reactor. There we go. I guess that means I've got to do all of the cards now. There we go. That's this finally all connected up. I think then I'm gonna split up the americium so that I can make it simultaneously with the lutetium, and I feel like this fusion reactor's fine, because it really doesn't seem to run terribly often. I still need uranium for some things, well actually, only for tritanium. I didn't really need tritanium that much. I have a ton in reserve, so I think I'm fine to leave this as is. But this reactor is probably going to be running lutetium forever. This one's probably also going to be running americium a lot. Ooh, there's an idea. To get this reactor running more often, I can give it europium. That can probably keep this running a bit more often. So then I've got one reactor entirely dedicated to lutetium, one entirely dedicated to americium, one entirely dedicated to neutronium, and then one doing the rest. Because all of this, I never need too much at a time, and they all need each other, so they can just fill up when need be. Whereas these three should be running constantly, ideally. Right, I think that's where I'm going to leave the fusion reactors for now. I might be upgrading them in the future. I'll see how this goes. So I think I'm finally done upgrading my infrastructure for now. And I've probably still got time left in this video. So then I wonder how hard it would be to make the chemical builders. Because the control blocks aren't that hard. The multi-block shouldn't be that hard either. I can probably get this going. It doesn't need research, so I don't have to worry about that. I should already have all of the supposed hard stuff. Yeah, I can probably make this. But just like with the chemical plants, I'm going to want a lot of them. And there's quite a lot of recipes that can be run here. There's 2 different recipes for acetone, and 2 different recipes for propene. But that still leaves 13 different recipes. And I'm probably going to want all of them. So then how many chemical builders do I want? I'm probably going to use them more than the chemical plants. So then that means I should have more than 3. How many could I fit on one platform? I think it'd barely fit 4. So that makes me think I should make 4 of these. It'd mean I'd need to run 3 different recipes on 3 of them and 4 on the last one. I can probably manage that. Yeah. Okay. So then I'm going to be making 4 of these chemical builders. And I'm absolutely going to have them share sides, because otherwise they won't fit on the platform. I can get into calculating that later. For now, I've got a couple more blocks to add recipes for, starting with the control block. And I should be able to make most things here pretty easily. A large uranium fluid pipe is just another extruder thing. Then there's also this weapon grade naquator. I can turn it into a rotor easily. How do I get this? Ah, it does take neutronium. And pure netherite. I do have a recipe for pure netherite though. So I think I can make this. And it looks like I have to do it through the dust. Okay, I think I can make this. Ah, right, I need to upgrade the assembly line. And I think I have exactly enough left to be able to do that. Yeah, I can barely upgrade this. And I guess I'll just throw in another energy converter to be able to power the data bank. But now I should be able to call up 4 chemical builders. And it looks like I've got everything I need. So yeah, I'll just set it going. And while I wait for that to go through, I'm going to figure out how much I need for the multi-block. I'm pretty sure everything here I should be able to make. Not the triniquid alloy yet, but I doubt that's very hard. I don't seem to make it with dust. Ah, blast smelter. Carbon, naquator, and trinium. That's easy. So how many of these triniquid alloy frames am I going to need? Because I'm sharing, I'm going to need 14 per builder plus another 14 for the end. So that's 70 frames. I can make that. And I guess similar logic for the firebox casings. I need 18 per builder plus another 6 for the end. So that's 78. And I don't have a recipe for firebox casings. They are not that hard. So I can make 78 pretty easily. Next, the engine intake casings. That's just 9 per builder. So then 36. Then the peak casing, none of that's shared. Although I'm not going to need 26 because I'm going to have more energy hatches and inputs and outputs. I'll just go 20 each. I can make more peak casings than I need. And then last, just 4 PTFE pipe casings. That's very easy. So then, while I wait for all of that to craft, I need to get all of these hatches. Ooh, and do these accept parallel? Yes. So that's 4 parallel hatches. And then, do I go UV or UHV? All of these recipes seem to be the same time. I have no idea if this has perfect overclock or not. But if I use UV hatches, everything would be under a second. And if it's perfect overclock, they'd all be, what's that, 3 ticks? If it's got perfect overclock, then I only need ZPM hatches. I'll just go with UV hatches. I think that's good enough. And now that I think about it, I need 4 input and output, or I need 4 output buses and hatches, but I only need different inputs to change the circuit. You very well could all have the same input hatch. That would simplify the logistics a bit too. So yeah, I need all 13 input buses, but then I just need 4 quadruple input hatches. I think that'd be fine. And then I think that's probably also all I need in terms of hatches, apart from the ones that are currently being crafted. So now I've got pretty much everything I need. The energy hatches are still on their way, although they seem to have gotten stuck, so I'll just restart it. But I've still got some of them, and parallel hatches, much the same story, except this time it's just slow. But I think I can still get started building this now. I do, however, need a new place to build this, because I'm kind of out of space again. So, I could build it here. I was planning on making another platform here, just to balance this out, but I do have space. Yeah, I think I built it there, actually, because it should barely fit. Yeah, barely fit. So, how am I gonna lay this out? I might have to put a lot of it around the back. I'll see. Let me just get some easy blocks in place. Probably put the maintenance hatches up the top. Maybe I put the output up the front. Possibly the same with power. And then maybe I do the inputs around the back. Yeah, I could probably fit that. I can do the input hatch up the top, and then input buses along the bottom. Haven't made enough peak casings. I need 16 more, I think. That should come along pretty quick. So that should be all of this built up. I miscalculated how many casings I needed. Actually, I doubly miscounted because I forgot about where I put the parallel hatch. I can probably stick that on the front. It'll be fine. I hope I've got enough prismalium wires for this. I'm gonna have to connect this a bit weirdly, and no, I don't have enough wires. I can just make some more. Oh! Ah, shit. Oh, what did I lose from that? I lost a bunch of casings. I lost the control block, annoyingly. That's gonna take a while to come back. I lost the bottom hatches. Okay, that's everything repaired. And in the time it took to get that back, I've fixed up everything else around here. So now all 4 of these should be functional. Well, not quite yet. I need to do the maintenance hatch. Now they're ready to go. So all that's left is to try and hook this up to the ME system. And also try and figure out what I'm doing with this last input bus. Or if I even need it. Maybe there's a recipe in here that I don't want? Can I make butene with butadiene? Or other way around? Yes. So then I think I just ditch the butane recipe and just make butadiene. And that takes me down to 12. I think I have an idea for how to set this up. I assume putting a pattern provider there won't break the multi-block. But that's going to make it really annoying to access this. Okay, no. Well, I need the ingredient buffers there so that I can easily pipe down. And of course I need to separate them from each other. That is not the case with the fluid pipes though. Whoops. Right, that should be that connected. This doesn't quite look as cool as what I had with the chemical plant, but this is also weirdly satisfying, like those images of cable management. So I need to connect this into the ME system now. I highly doubt I've got enough channels if I connect from here. I'll try it just to see. Oh, it's only one of them missing a channel. That is a lot better than I thought it would be. Well then, the alternative is to bring this line across. And it connects straight in. And yeah, none of them are missing channels anymore. So, now, I can start making the recipes for this. So, I'm going to want pretty much all of these recipes. I need butadiene, propene, I don't know if it really matters which of these I use. This one's just directly cheaper. So we'll go with this one. I already said I'm not doing butene. Then which of the acetones? I think I'll do the top one. Then acetic acid, styrene, toluene, ethylene, ethanol, methyl acetate, ethane, benzene. That's going to replace something. Methanol. That's also going to replace something. And that's it. All 12 of the recipes that I need. So I'm just quickly going to find all of the recipes that I'm replacing here. Okay, I think I've found every recipe that I'm replacing here. There's a lot more than I thought. Yeah, only 3 of these are new. That'd be the ethane, because I get that from the distillation tower. The ethanol, because I've gotten that from other sources. Ah, wait, I forgot to remove the butadiene recipe. Wait, do I need butadiene then? Hang on, what gives me butane? Distilling gas. I wish I could tell the electrolytes to take priority over making butadiene, but it's good to have butadiene in here just in case I run out of butene, or butane, whichever of the ones. So I just need to assign this. Propene is 0, ethane is 1, styrene is 3, acetone is 5, toluene is 6, benzene is 7, butadiene is 8, ethylene is 9, acetic acid is 11, methanol is 12, ethanol is 13, and methyl acetate is 14. And that's it. That's everything here set up. It's not going to start crafting yet, because right now nothing needs it. I guess just to test, let's get 100 more buckets of benzene. Okay, it works, and it crafts very quickly. I think this does actually have perfect overclock, because that is running at 3 ticks. Currently my bottleneck is that I'm not transporting the hydrogen quick enough. I guess I can upgrade that. But if it still proves to be a bottleneck, I might just swap it out for laser IO. Oh yeah! And I'm not actually outputting this anywhere. Whoops. Okay, that's that finished then. I've got all 4 chemical plants up and running, and doing, yeah, every single useful recipe. That's worked out pretty well. So, with that, I think I'm good for this video. That happens to be the last thing of note in UV as well. So, I'm now fully up to date with everything of note going into UHV. There's still a couple other things that I want to do before I get really stuck into all of this, but there really isn't much more infrastructure left for me. The only thing I can really think of is the rotary hearth furnace, and by extension the bulk blast chiller, so maybe I can do them next time? Depends how hard they are. So I'm just gonna sit here for a minute in the successes of this video, because we've actually done a decent amount. We've very substantially upgraded the entire power setup with these fields of solar panels. We got a 4th fusion reactor and upgraded all of them to be Mark III. We've gone through and upgraded all of the most important machines to UHV power, and yes, I did have time to go through and fully change over the blast furnace. And then finally we made the chemical builders to solve quite a lot of the really finicky chemical reactor problems. Yeah, so I'm very happy with that progress. It feels like the most I've done in a while, even though it probably isn't. I don't know if that's coming across at all. Maybe just because the big things that I've built. Anyway, I'm rambling on at this point, so I'm just going to call the video here. Bye.